Welcome to the YouTube home of Sparrow Woodworks Canada, Canada's newest YouTube woodworker. This show is sponsored by my family and my spare time.
Here's my next project. This is a little surprise for my wife. This is a design from Steve Good. He has a scroll saw blog, and he sends out free plans all the time, a few times a week. Love his ideas. I'm not really a scroll sawer, although I do have a scroll saw, but I do end up using his plans every once in a while to do some carving. So there'll be a link to that below. Again, if you haven't seen his site, check it out. It's great.
So let's get started. Here you can see I use a speed square and a ruler to trace out my lines using carbon paper. The speed square helps me stay square to the sides of the wood, and the ruler helps me keep those lines straight. Now you want to make sure your carbon paper is facing the right way, otherwise you're going to just trace on the back of your design, and that's not fun. Once you're all laid out, it's time to start on the bandsaw. This is sped up 45 times so you don't have to see how tedious it was for me to cut it all out. Most of my projects don't have this much bandsaw work, so this was a good exercise for me. Here I'm using the drill press to cut holes to gain access to the interior portions that I couldn't use on the bandsaw. And now the scroll saw, also sped up to save tediousness.
Here's the pattern cut out. With my scroll saw, I still have a little bit right there. I'm going to knock out with a little chisel. And I have to smooth all the edges out. It's pretty rough. I'm not an expert band sawyer or scroll sawyer, so it's got a bit of work to do. But carving process should go pretty well, and actually I'm surprised at my progress. Alright, time to start carving.
So here I am making stop cuts with my knife around the heart. That's going to be the first part I carve. I'm going to lower that O down so the heart is raised above it. I'm going to shape this heart. Right now I'm just going to lower this a bit, and then I'm going to round out the heart as well, so it's not just flat. This time I use the knife to make the stop cuts. Another tool you sometimes use, just a little straight gouge like this guy. You just have to change the angle a little more often. I like the straight gouge. I think I get a little more power into it, so I get a deeper stop cut. The O's is now lowered, so time to start on the heart. And I'm just going to start going around the edge, because I want the outside part to be the lowest. I think I'm going to eventually have it so there's no flat space, but I might actually have to take down a little bit lower for that. I'm not sure. You can see I'm kind of rotating it or spinning this, so besides just pushing, you also have a bit of a slicing cut. Trying to make it really steep here on the side, because once I lower this, it won't be
it won't be so steep. Just kind of want to go through here and just basically texture it, removing all the flat spots. I'm just going really lightly. I'm trying to. Yeah, you can kind of see where the wood has either aged a little bit or has a little bit of dust on it or whatever. So as it gets brighter, you know you're doing your job. Too bad. Alright, I think I have it so it's all faceted. I'm just gonna kind of go around the edge. Not bad. Look how that looks. Alright, so next, moving on to the V, because that's going to be lowered as well. I'll be back. Alright, I got a little carried away off camera and actually finished up the carving. There you can see the shadows. Pretty happy with it. Sanded up the edges a bit. It's not going to be meant to stand, it's not going to be meant to be seen from the back, so there's a few imperfections there. Not going to worry about that too much, but I am going to make a base for it, so I've drawn that out. I just kind of put this on there and figured out how big it should be. Do a rectangle, used a lid from my what do you call this stuff? Super glue stuff, and drew the edges. So I'm going to cut this out and get that going. That's where we are. Alright, here's the base all cut out, sanded up. I've drawn a what do you call it? Mortise in there, and I'm just going to fit this in like a mortise and tenon, so not too deep, but that'll give it some stability. The mortise was tested, tenon mortise, fits well. Now it's time for the glue. And this is just Elmer's carpenter glue, nothing special, because this is just sitting on a desk. Hopefully, sitting on a desk. So I don't imagine this is in need of a heavy-duty application at all. Could have had a bit more squeeze out, but like I said, this is a pretty simple application. So I don't think I'm gonna worry about lack of squeeze out. So there it is as it stands. Time to paint.
Here's the final product with red paint on the heart and 2 coats of cherry stain over the pine. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like if you like my video. Thanks.